Hi, I'm Grace.
And I'm Ek, and this is Off the Duff.
And today we are noticing that as the holidays approach, the word joy is beginning to get plastered everywhere. And so we thought we might talk a little bit about joy, about how to tap into joy during the craziness of the holiday season, and beyond that too. I know for myself that I feel an extreme pressure to feel immense, gigantic quantities of joy during the holiday season, and I'm sure that many other people feel that way too. There's so much pressure to give the right gift, to find the right gift, to cook the best meal, to be the great hostess, or whatever. And we're all supposed to be filled with extreme joy, happiness, and satisfaction while we're doing all of those things. And so I think that it creates a sense of cognitive dissonance for us sometimes, because we're under so much pressure to be happy, and we're under so much pressure to soak up every moment, and yet we're also running around frazzled and crazy at the same time. And so I think for myself, one of the things that helps me find or maintain or create joy for myself during all of the madness is to just stop and allow myself to soak up or savor whatever happens to be occurring at that exact moment, to taste the meal that you spent 6 hours preparing, or soak up the conversations with older relatives who, may not be around to celebrate with me the following year, or really enjoy the stage of life that my children or my granddaughter is at that moment, knowing that this moment's never going to come again. It reminds me of a quote by one of my favorite authors, Kurt Vonnegut, and he used to always refer to an uncle who had a habit of sitting back on the porch on a lovely day with his glass of lemonade and saying, "If this isn't nice, I don't know what is." And so Kurt Vonnegut, he incorporated that into a lot of his writing, saying, I urge you to notice when things are really good and take a moment to sit back and say, "If this isn't nice, I don't know what is." Because it's in the pause that we appreciate. And I think that when we appreciate, it's a lot easier to connect to joy. Additionally, beyond that, I think that we have to make sure we indulge in a little bit of self-care. Because when we are busy, either running to meet people around the country or to prepare meals or whatnot, we're giving and giving and giving. And if we don't take a little bit of time to kind of make sure that we have some light or happiness or joy within us, then we don't really have anything to give to anybody else. We're a conduit of joy, and participating at that level. So how about you? I don't know, what are your thoughts on joy at this time of year?
Joy, it's kind of a mixed bag, I think. For me, I like the holidays, but I also get very overwhelmed when it comes to having lots of family there, and even family and friends, just lots of people. I get where I like one-on-one conversations, and so sometimes that craziness that surrounds holidays, like you're saying, the making the meals and the presents and all that stuff, which I love. I also used to get very overwhelmed at Christmas, and I think I had so much joy for the holidays and excitement about it that I would get overwhelmed and get physically sick. And so for me, it's always a balancing thing.
Sure.
So I like the quiet moments of joy at the holidays. So I like to, if let's say my nieces are all opening presents when they were littler, we have a bunch of them and they'd be all opening presents, I like to sit back and just relish that. And it was like watching them do it and watching the joy on their faces as they open it. Because that just reminds me of the joy I had as a kid, waiting for Santa to come and waiting for presents and singing Christmas carols. And so for me, I try to tap into that joy that I had as a kid. For me, it's more of finding quiet moments of joy, being like there in the moment and enjoying that moment as it's happening. But for me, I think when it gets to the craziness of the holidays, that's one time where I have to actually kind of force myself to notice those moments. You have a good quote. I have a quote that is not nearly as, I don't want to say highfalutin. It's just sort of more of a fun, stupid quote. We were watching the show Family Ties, and my mom was in the kitchen doing something, and the mom on the show wanted to show the kids this family album, and they were all just doing their own thing or whatever, and it just, doing their crazy stuff, and she just wanted to take that moment to enjoy that with her family. And she says, "We're going to look at this family album, so now sit down and share the joy." And my mom started laughing so hard in the kitchen, and that kind of has become a diffuser. We just will yell that quote, "Sit down and share the joy." And while it's funny, it does diffuse the situation, and it does remind us that, seriously, sit down and share the joy and think of what you have to be joyful about.
In a lot of ways, it's a reminder to be present in the moment. What do they say? They call it the present because it's a gift.
Yes. More so at the holidays than any other time.
Yeah, exactly. I urge you, and this is a major reminder to myself as the holidays approach, to pay attention to what's going on around me. I think that the most important thing is not to feel pressure to find your joy in exactly the same place where TV commercials tell you you're supposed to find it.
Exactly.
Find it where you find it, and when you find it, say, if this isn't nice, I don't know what is.
Exactly.
You know? And I urge you to stretch joy out beyond the holidays. Joy should be something that's a practice, much like gratitude. And if you have a hard time just sitting down on the spot and saying, these are the things I feel joyful about, then don't worry about it. Wait for those moments to come upon you, and when they do come upon you, note them. Possibly literally note them on a piece of paper or in your journal or something like that, so that then when the dark times are upon you and you're having trouble connecting with your joy, you can remind yourself that a hot cup of tea and a really good book and your cat at your feet gives you joy. And then you can actually seek out that experience to help you reconnect with that feeling. So we would be really interested to know how you create joy and maintain joy when it's time for all the family obligations of the holidays, or during this crazy season, or however you celebrate it or don't celebrate it. We would be really interested to know. So please do let us know in the comments.
Yeah, the holidays can be a stressful time, but at the core, it's supposed to be about joy, and it should be about joy somewhere deep down, even if it doesn't bubble to the surface as easily as you'd like. But tapping into it can be done, and it takes effort, and it means that we need to actually take some action and get off the duff.
We can't passively wait for joy to just show up for us. I think there's a difference between, okay, here come the holidays, I'm going to sit back and passively wait for joy to show up for me. Sometimes you have to get off your duff and create some fucking joy for yourself.
Yeah.
You know?